And most importantly, we spoke to families who are experiencing this on a day-to-day basis, who struggle with chronic homelessness, the unpredictable nature of living in circumstances that are less than ideal without stability and structure for their children. And that was perhaps most meaningful, to really get that insight from those families and what their struggles are and how they seek to be the best parents they can be in circumstances that are difficult for a lot of them.
Why are individuals homeless? Well, one of the things that we've learned in Spokane is that there's really no one answer. There are a wide variety of individuals, a wide variety of families and circumstances. One of the things we found for this population is that unlike many homeless populations, when we're thinking about the homeless who have children in schools, very often their homelessness is the result of an eviction and unemployment. So these are folks who had been working, who had had secure housing, but for a variety of reasons they've lost that housing.
It's not necessarily typical to what we might think of as homelessness. Our initial reaction might be to think of an older gentleman on the street suffering from mental health issues, substance abuse. And in many ways, the homelessness that the majority of families experience here in Spokane is far more stable and doesn't really belie the seriousness of the circumstances that they're experiencing. These individuals are your neighbors. They've experienced a couple of setbacks that have snowballed into a circumstance where they find themselves without permanent housing.
We lost our house because of my mom's mental illness and her refusal to get help. So that's what caused me to be homeless. And yeah, so I lived in people's couches or outside sometimes. The hardest part of being homeless is the way that it changes your psyche, and it sends you into like survival mode, and the way that you behave starts becoming less and less socially acceptable. And so you don't fit in with your peers anymore. You fit in with people you probably shouldn't, because it's just all this fear. It's just constant fear and running and hiding and being scared of someone finding you, being scared of going to jail or going to foster care or whatever for something that, in all honesty, isn't really your fault. You know? The fear is the worst part about being homeless.
Our community in 2013 prioritized mental health as the #1 issue. After we're looking at the school system and additional data and talking to experts in the field, Priority Spokane determined to work on the homelessness issue of young families with K-8 children in the school system. We really want to work on the prevention side of homelessness in the sense of stabilizing these families and preventing these families and these young children from having to go through the stress and trauma.
When I became a mother, I remember like sitting with Alice in my arms and just like thinking to myself and crying. I was crying and I was like just telling her, well, she was a little baby, she couldn't understand it, but I was like, I'm so sorry that you got stuck with me. Like, you didn't choose this, and I have a terrible life situation. I guess you could have been born to somebody rich and who had a great place, and you could have all the toys that you wanted in the world, and that really sucks that you got stuck with me, and it was just really sad. When you're homeless, you have nobody. Everybody's forsaken you. Everybody looks down on you, and your children are so important. And like they're what make you want to do better and want to be something, and they're the only like person that you have that's really there for you, and that it's just this infinite reciprocal love, and nobody wants that taken from them.
Why should we do something? Why should we care? I think there are a variety of business reasons why we should address student homelessness. The fact that our research shows that for every $1 we invest will result in $2 savings, the public health aspect, but I think more importantly, most importantly, is the fact that I think we forfeit our soul as a community if we continue to allow almost 3,000 students to go homeless in Spokane.
Imagine a city for you and for me, where I'm safe and I'm sound, and I can just be. A city with schools where I can learn and grow, instead of worrying about who is my friend or who is my foe. A city where every child has at least a mom for a dad, and warmth, shelter, and there's enough food to be had. A city where students don't live on the street, but with people who love them so they are complete. A city where little old me can be free to simply grow up into who I'm to be.